first matchup tomorrow afternoon. Winner of this one faces the winner of this evening's matchup. That one between St. Joe's of Long Island, the 7 seed, and Salisbury from Maryland, the 2 seed. Runner at first, in next, Ariel Kenny. Kenny pokes it out towards center field, stabbed by the second baseman, Jake Dexter, for the second out of the frame.
Now batting, the third baseman, number 6, Nick Nardone.
In next, the cleanup hitter for Amherst, Nick Nardone, the third baseman. Nardone, the first Mammoth we see whose batting average is below 300 on the season. In fact, 5 of the first 6 Mammoths in the lineup, with a pickoff attempt over to first base, are above 300 on the year. Nardone not too far behind them at 294, plus a slugging percentage of 429. Harry Roberson at first base. Here comes the first pitch to Nick Nardone from Dalton Rice. Fastball on the inner corner, 0-1. Dalton Rice, the pitcher, the 6'4", 210-pound junior out of Waterford, Maine. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Nardone. There goes the runner. Roberson with speed. Got a good jump. The throw from the catcher, not in time. Kyle Heath, a good pop behind the plate. The throw just barely missed beating Harry Roberson, though, so a runner in scoring position with 2 down in the first inning. Roberson during the regular season, 5 stolen bases on 7 attempts. Now in the NCAA tournament, 1 for 1. 1-1 pitch on the way to Nardone. Takes it, breaking ball, dives low, 2-1. Dalton Rice in the season, regular season I should say, an ERA just barely below 5 and a 2-3 record. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball missed inside, 3-1. Only made 7 starts in that regular season. 36 total innings, 48 strikeouts. He can punch them out. Did walk 22 batters, though. Ready for the 3-1 pitch to Nick Nardone. High pop fly out to shallow right field. Zach Quintal underneath it, fighting the sun, and he makes the catch for the 3rd out of the frame. So Amherst strands a runner in scoring position after Harry Roberson's single and stolen base. But aside from that, it's so far so good for Dalton Rice. To the plate next, Southern Maine looking to get on the scoreboard first.
Push it a little bit beyond that, maybe 10:30. No. What? The neighborhood, we're next door. We don't want somebody knocking on our door at 9 in the morning saying how mad they are. Listen, yeah, we're not doing this. Well, we're definitely not doing it at like 1:30 in the morning. Sorry, guys. We won't be here at 1:30.
Leading off for Southern Maine, the center fielder, number 2, Devon Warren.
Back at Falcon Park in Auburn, New York, the site of the New York Regional in the first round of this NCAA Division III baseball tournament. Amherst went down with 1 hit, 1 stolen base from Harry Roberson. Aside from that, nothing doing for the Mammoths. So it's Southern Maine to the plate in the bottom of the first, the 3 seed in this region. Devon Warren, the first batter for the Huskies, gets his first look at the sidearm lefty, Sam Schneider, for Amherst. Schneider this season, 10 appearances, 9 of them starts, as the 1-0 is driven out to deep left field. Joseph Palmo going back. And now he comes toward the press box and makes the first out of the frame.
Now then, the third baseman, number 12, Andrew.
So solid contact for Devon Warren against Sam Schneider. A 2.73 ERA in the regular season and a 4-2 record. 52 2/3 total innings, 50 strikeouts, and 21 walks. You just got your first look at Devon Warren as well, who was unbelievable in the regular season. First pitch to Andrew Hillier, the third baseman for Southern Maine, is low and inside, 1-0. Devon Warren batted .401 in the regular season. Here's the 1-0. That pitch catches the lower edge, 1-1. You don't have to be a baseball savant to know that if you bat over 400, that's pretty good. And he did it in 167 ABs, too, so it's not like it was a small sample. The 1-1 to Hillier. Missed outside. Again, that sidearm delivery for Sam Schneider. We have seen a bevy of left-handed pitchers so far today. Go back to that first game between Swarthmore, Baldwin Wallace. Sorry, there are a lot of teams here today. Baldwin Wallace. 6 of the 7 pitchers we saw were lefties. And then in that game between Cortland and Westfield State, a lot of lefties as well. Count goes full against Andrew Hillier. Hillier, the third baseman on the season, batting .341. This is a Southern Maine team with a lot of pop in the bats. Full count pitch. Bounce toward first base. Sam Ellenwood on it for Amherst, and he makes the play. 2 up, 2 down for Sam Schneider. You look at some of the numbers, and you think that Southern Maine has scored the count to Jake Dexter. This time he swings and clubs it out to deep right center field, tailing away from Kai Tarada Herzer. He can't get there. Chugging into second base with a stand-up 2-out double, Jake Dexter. Solid piece of hitting there by Dexter, going with that pitch from Schneider, who again has been really pounding that outside edge to these righty Southern Maine hitters. In fact, all 9 batters in the starting lineup tonight for the Huskies bat from the right side. Could be some gamesmanship from head coach Ed Flaherty against a pitcher like Schneider, who goes from the sidearm on the left side. Swing and a miss for Dylan Hapworth, right over the top of that breaking ball. And Ed Flaherty is a legendary coach at the helm of these Southern Maine Huskies. Picked up win number 1,000 earlier this season. 0-1 the count to Dylan Hapworth. Off speed, missed outside, 1-1. Flaherty took over the Huskies in 1986. That's when he picked up win number 1. Now more than 30 years later, he's at 1,000. The 1-1 pitch, swung on, roped out to left field. That'll drop and it'll score a run. Dexter chugs around third base. He comes home to open up the scoring. Hapworth into second base, sliding with an RBI 2-out double. The 2-out Lightning for Southern Maine. 2 up, 2 down for Warren and Hillier. Then Dexter and Hapworth go back-to-back with the doubles, and it's 1-0 Huskies in the bottom of the first. Looking to keep the line moving, Andrew Olzak, the shortstop. Still 2 down here in this first inning. Solid start for Sam Schneider, but they're getting to him already. Chopper toward the right side of the infield. Ellenwood on it. The flip to the pitcher, touches the bag, and that'll do it for the bottom of the first. But not before Southern Maine opens up the scoring. It's 1-0 Huskies thanks to the RBI double from Dylan Hapworth, scoring Jake Dexter. 1-0 as we head to the top of the second.
You know I'm working on it for you at some point.
Hey,
Just want to make sure.
I got you, brother. I didn't think you didn't know. Just talk to one of the dads out there.
I know you want to be talking about that.
First place.
Oh, right. I'll make sure it's specified. I need a voice on first place.
Stud performance here.
I was about to say, that's pretty impressive. Good catch. For some reason, this sophomore didn't like transfer over, so it's just like,
Hey, they're all
and can you believe it? An entirely freshman starting.
wouldn't even count freshmen in here.
Oh, you're one of those schools?
First years.
That didn't take very long for the number 3 seed in the New York region here in the D3 College Baseball Tournament. Southern Maine with a 1-0 lead after 1 inning over the 6 seed Amherst. Joseph Palmo leads things off for the Mammoths here in the top of the second against the starting pitcher Dalton Rice. Palmo on the season, a .333 batter across 129 plate appearances. The 0-1 on the way from Dalton Rice. Swing and a miss. Joseph Palmo, a player who would probably make old school baseball fans happy. No batting gloves and a very, very hard swinger. Here comes the 0-2. Line straight back into the netting. Mentioned Southern Maine with a record of 27-13, locked down an at-large bid. Lost in the Little East Conference tournament about a week ago. Here comes the 0-2 from Rice. Check swing, did he go? Appeal down the third base line. And the umpire there, Martin Rawl, says he did not. So Southern Maine, despite that impressive 27-13 record, kind of sputtered toward the end, 1-5 in their last 6 games. Amherst on the other side with 5 straight wins. The 1-2. Popped out to left field, giving chase 3 Huskies. Hillier, the third baseman, the closest, and he snagged it over the fence. Tip of the cap for Andrew Hillier. The beautiful catch right over the top of the chain link.
Now batting, the first baseman, number 8, Sam Allenwood.
In comes Sam Ellenwood, the second baseman for Amherst. I beg your pardon, the first baseman, seeing his first action at the plate. .358 was his batting average in the regular season. See some pretty eye-popping numbers when you get to this point of the year. Second pitch fouled off. 0-2 the count quickly. Rice deals to Ellenwood. Fouled off his foot, and the count remains 0-2. Ellenwood, the senior out of Westport, Connecticut, plays at either corner, third base or first base. Today over at first. 0-2 pitch, missed, low and away.
Let me know if you can.
The 1-2 from Rice to Ellenwood. Swung on, got a piece. Right back to the catcher, Kyle Heath. And that's your first strike out of the ballgame.
The designated hitter, number 15, William Murphy.
So Rice records his first punch out. 2 up, 2 down in the second. That brings up William Murphy, the designated hitter. First pitch fouled back. Murphy, a .282 hitter this season. Next pitch lined right toward the center fielder. Devon Warren settles underneath it, makes the catch, and it's a 1-2-3 frame for Dalton Rice. So he's only allowed 1 base runner through a couple of innings. 7 men have come to the plate for Amherst, only 1 reached. That was back in the first, and Southern Maine holds on to that 1-0 lead.
Really?
Yeah, I respect that.
James, there are literally like 5 million songs you can choose from. And you choose this. Yeah, they're all hits.
Play My Humps. That gets the people going.
What's up, Leslow? Hey, just be comfortable, man. Like, show more personality.
Leading off, the right fielder, number 7, Zach Quintal.
Zach Quintal leads things off for Southern Maine in the bottom of the second inning, already on top 1-0, courtesy of an RBI double from Dylan Hapworth back in the first. Back on the bump is Sam Schneider, the lefty sidearm pitcher. Deals strike one to Quintal. Batted .268 during the regular season, started all 40 games for the Huskies. They use the same lineup pretty much day in, day out. Gets a good piece of that one, smokes it down the left field line. This could be two for Quintal. All the way to the corner, fielded there by Joseph Palmo. Quintal takes a big round around second base, and he holds off there. 6 men have come to the plate for Southern Maine. Half of them have doubled already. Quintal leads things off with a 2-bagger. Dexter doubled in the first with 2 down. Hapworth followed that up with a double of his own, bringing Dexter home. Now Quintal leads off the second with his own 2-bagger, and the second one down that left field line. That brings up Kyle Heath, the catcher, batting .324 on the season. First pitch just barely missed upstairs, 1-0. Schneider, the lefty pitcher out of San Diego, the 1-0. That one drops in 1-1. 6'3", 205 on the bump with that imposing sidearm delivery, at least for lefty batters. You're a righty batter, maybe it lets you see it a little bit better. Pretty interesting dichotomy between a couple of the guys we saw in the last game, both of whom pitched from right over the top. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a liner out to left field. The runner at second, Quintal, was holding up, so he's got to stay at third base, but you can hear these Huskies into it already, chanting from the dugout, and for good reason. They've got 4 hits, 3 of them doubles, runners on the corners now, and no outs in the bottom of the second, already on top 1-0. It's a breath of fresh air for Southern Maine, the players, the coaches, and the fans. A team that's really been struggling to hit the ball as of late. Jason Komalainen, the first baseman, in next for the Huskies. First pitch with some movement, still missed outside, 1-0.
Yeah, there you go.
1-0 pitch from Dalton Rice. Missed high and outside, 2-0. The count to Komalainen. That one paints the outside corner, 2-1. Southern Maine still none down, bottom of the second. Runners on the corners. Time called by Komalainen right at the 11th hour. Schneider started his wind. Komalainen said not so fast. Now the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Komalainen tied up by that off-speed pitch from the sidearm lefty. Counts 2-2. You look at Southern Maine's last 6 games. No runs against Eastern Connecticut, then 5 against that same team. 6-5 win over Bates, but after that, 3-3-1 in their last 3 games. The 2-2. Another swing and a miss, but it gets away from the catcher, Severino Simeone. So Komalainen stays alive. Komalainen at the plate, Simeone behind it. You need a tongue twister. There you go. Still a 2-2 count to Komalainen, runner still at the corners. Caught the inside corner with the heater, and Komalainen goes down looking.
Now batting, left fielder, number 15, Sam Troiano.
So Schneider, who's been attacking that outside corner to all these righty batters all evening long, comes inside Tacoma line and might have caught him off guard. That's the first out of the frame, and now the 9-hole hitter, Sam Troiano, steps to the plate. Tailing fastball falls into the strike zone, 0-1. That's a nasty pitch on the inside corner. Troiano, the rookie of the year in the Little East Conference for Southern Maine this season. Batted .258 and started all 40 games. The 0-1. Swing and a ground ball. This could be 2 to short. It's got to be if they want to keep another run off the board. Throw to first base. In time, he got the foot down. Harry Roberson, the shortstop, started things off. Steinhorn at second base, the relay. Ellenwood with some ballet over at first base. Touches the toe on the bag, and that's 2, and it's still a 1-0 game. Let's have another look at that. It's got to be if they want to keep another run off the board. Throw to first base. In time, he got the foot down. Harry Roberson, the shortstop, started things off. Steinhorn at second base, the relay. Ellenwood.
I think the wide angle's working a lot better. What do you think?
It's definitely smoother.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're using it in certain points, double plays, and it's got to be like within the 20-second window, pretty much. It's fairly easy, but it's just you got it. Top 3. Yes. Hey Jimmy, guess what I just looked up on ESPN app? The Vegas Golden Knights lost the first 2 games of the series and then won their game at home. No. No, they won game. No, they won a game.
I'm pretty sure they did, yeah.
Oh, they lead 2-1.
Yeah. You guys watched that game last night? I thought it was ridiculous. That guy's out of his mind. Why? He might mess around and just win it. I hope they do.
Leading off the top of the third, the center fielder, number 16, Ty Serrata.
Back at Falcon Park in Auburn, New York, 2 innings down, 7 to go in this matchup of 3 and 6 in the New York Regional in the D3 College Baseball Tournament. Kai Terada Herzer leads things off for the 6th seed Amherst, the road team in this one, against Dalton Rice. Second pitch he sees, a rope out to center field, and that'll drop down for a base hit.
Now then, the catcher, number 10.
First base runner for Amherst since their second batter of the game, Harry Roberson, who is now likely to come up in this frame. Roberson singled and then stole a base back in the first inning. He's the 2-hole hitter. This is the 9-hole hitter, Severino Simeone, the catcher for the Mammoths. Simeone, a .248 hitter on the season. He's got to wait to see his first pitch with a pickoff attempt over to first base. Another four-seam fastball over to first base from Rice. He does not take anything off it when he throws over to first. Simeone, the sophomore out of Weston, Mass. Here comes the first pitch to him. Takes it low for ball 1. Simeone with hits in 5 of his last 6 games. Looking to stay hot in the NCAA tournament. The 1-0. Looked like that one nibbled the inside corner, maybe, but it misses 2-0. Greg Hewitt behind the plate tonight with Mike Lum at first base. Justin Sims at second and Martin Rawl over at third. This is the second and final game of the day for this crew. Here comes the 2-0 from Rice. That one missed up and inside. Simeone had to turn away from it. And the count is 3-0. We'll see if he gets the green light. You'd have to guess that the 9-hole hitter, maybe not, but you never know. The 3-0 pitch from Rice. Missed low and away, ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk issued by Dalton Rice, his first free pass of the night. And I say you never know on a 3-0 count because just a couple of nights ago, if you saw Bryce Harper in a 3-0 count, sent a baseball about 600,000 feet. Harper, of course, with the Washington Nationals, the MLB affiliate of the Auburn Double Days, who start their season about a month from today, June 15th, right here at Falcon Park. Back to the top of the lineup for Max Steinhorn, who fouls off the first pitch he sees. Steinhorn flew out to center field to open up this game. He's got runners at first and second with none down here in the top of the third. A golden opportunity for Amherst to either tie or take the lead, down 1-0. The 0-1 pitch has to wait as Rice takes a look at second base. The shortstop, Andrew Olzak, pounding that glove, thinking about maybe the daylight play. Creeping in behind the runner, Kai Terada-Herzer. Bunt shown, gets away from everybody over the mitt of Kyle Heath, the catcher, and everybody moves up. Terada-Herzer to third base, Simeone to second on that wild pitch. Wild pitches and pass balls, a common theme from today's action so far. Cortland won in the 10th inning on a passed ball by Westfield. The 1-1 from Rice. Swing and a frozen rope out to left field. Cannot get there. The left fielder, Troiano, it bounces in front of him. Game is tied at 1 as Amherst puts a run on the board with Kai Terada-Herzer on the RBI single from Max Steinhorn.
Now then, the shortstop, number 4, Harry Roberson.
3 straight base runners to open up the top of the third. Runners on the corners now in a tie ball game here in the top of the third frame. Terada-Herzer started things with a single to lead off the frame. Then Simeone up next. He walked. Both advanced on the wild pitch. Steinhorn drives in 1 with the single. Now it's Harry Roberson. A 303 hitter in the regular season. There goes the runner. Steinhorn got a great jump and no throw from the catcher, Heath. Why wait if you're that fast and you can get a jump that good? Go on the first pitch. Amherst already taking advantage on the base paths. The 0-1. Fought off foul. Quickly 0-2 to Roberson. For Steinhorn, that's stolen base number 15 this season. Easily the top mark on this Amherst team. Next most, William Murphy with 11. The 0-1. Check that, the 0-2. Missed low with a breaking ball. 1-2. Rice steals to Roberson. Missed up and in, 2-2. Amherst 24-12 this season, 8-4 in the New England Small Athletic Conference. Small College Athletic Conference, I should say. 2-2, fouled right off the foot. So if you like acronyms, that is the NESCAC. Amherst the champions of that conference. That's how they lock down a bid. They get the 6th seed in the New York Regional here at Falcon Park. Southern Maine did not win the conference tournament in the Little East, but they still snagged the 3 seed. One of the best strength of schedules in the entire country. A pretty good record to boot at 27-13. Count still 2-2 to Harry Roberson. Runners at second and third for Amherst. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big time strikeout, doesn't get much more important than that in the 3rd inning with none down and runners on second and third. Second K of the evening for Dalton Rice. That brings up Ariel Kenny. First pitch to him, missed low, 1-0. Kenny back in the first inning. Lined out to the second baseman, Jake Dexter, on the first pitch he saw. Takes ball one here. Swings and golfs it out to right field. That could be deep enough to score the second run of the game for Amherst. Catch made by Zach Quintal. Here comes the runner from third base. And Simeone scores to make it a 2-1 lead for the Mammoths. Got some confusion. Let's see if we can decipher this. Home plate umpire Greg Hewitt with the mask off. The call could be catcher's interference. And now a congregation of the umpires just to make sure. So if it's catcher's interference, the runner would take his base. With runners at the corners, the bases would be full. Okay, with one out. And a nice touch here at Falcon Park with the Jeopardy theme music. Let's see what the ruling is. Okay, so just to recap, Ariel Kenny flied it out to right field, deep enough to score the runner, Simeone, from third base. It seemed like a sacrifice fly, and everyone was going to be happy. But then the umpires decide to stop things. Greg Hewitt takes off the mask behind the plate, tells everyone to go back to their bases. I think the call was catcher's interference. When we find out, we'll let you know. And so what happened here is they gave Amherst the option to live with the result on the play that had catcher's interference, and they're going to take the sacrifice fly. So after all of that, it's the same result. It's a 2-1 lead for Amherst on the sac fly by Ariel Kenny. Now 2 down, top of the third, and all of a sudden the Mammoths on top of the Huskies. That brings in Nick Nardone. Cleanup hitter for Amherst. First pitch from Rice, missed low and away. Great stop behind the dish by Kyle Heath, keeping the runner at third at bay. That's Max Steinhorn, who drove in Amherst's first run with an RBI single earlier in this frame. Certainly a threat to come home at any sign of trouble behind the plate. He was about 30 feet down the baseline there. Steinhorn made it to third base partially because he stole second. That was his 15th swipe bag of the year. Fastball missed low, 2-0. Nardone on the season, a .294 hitter. 25 runs batted in. Lifts it out to shallow center field, moving back the second baseman, Jake Dexter, and he makes the catch for the final out of the frame. But Amherst comes right back with a 2 spot in the top of the third. They take the lead. It's 2-1 as we go to the bottom half of the inning.
Better than hearing the same songs over and over again.
So, because those runners moved over on the wild pitch, are those runs still?
Wild pitch, yes.
Okay.
Fastball, next. Because, yeah. So there's no error on the, if there would have been an error on that play, if they chose you to go ahead and shoot.
Oh.
Right. So it wouldn't, but they opted not to. So no error on
Do you always get the choice on catches interference?
No, but because there's a run scored, it's a scoring play. You get to choose the play, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Leading off the bottom of the third, the center fielder, number 2, Devon Warren.
It's a 2-1 Amherst lead over Southern Maine as we go to the bottom of the third inning here at Falcon Park. Game 3 of the 4-game slate. Today, day 1 of the New York Regional here in the D3 College Baseball Tournament. Southern Maine goes back to the top of the lineup with Devon Warren, the center fielder who just messed around and hit 400 this year. 401 to be exact. He started all 40 games. Waits on that one, chops it over to third base. Nardone on it for Amherst. And a missile over to first base in time to retire Warren.
Now batting, the third baseman.
So Warren, again, who hit 400 in the regular season, 0 for 2 so far tonight. By the way, even though he hit 400, he did not win Conference Player of the Year. That went to Jake Dexter, who's standing in the on-deck circle right now. One down in the bottom of the third, Andrew Hillier, 0 for 1 on the day so far, grounded out to the first baseman Ellenwood back in the first. Hillier batting .341 this season. The 0-1. Upstairs 1-1 from Sam Schneider, who's back to the bump. Struggled a little bit in the first and then worked out of a jam in the second. Allowed back-to-back base knocks in that second inning to start things off. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a line drive out to right field, right at Ariel Kennedy. He makes the catch for out number 2.
Number 13, Jake Dexter.
There's that Little East Conference Player of the Year, Jake Dexter. .387 the batting average, .425 the on-base percentage. Also started all 40 games, one of 5 players in the lineup tonight to do just that for Southern Maine. His count's 0-1 against Sam Schneider. Fastball skips in 1-1 with 2 down here in the bottom of the third. Schneider has recorded 5 straight outs if you include the double play to end the second inning. The 1-1. That one dipped low as well. Dexter gets a piece. Counts now 1-2. Dexter back in that first inning. Started the 2-out rally for Southern Maine. All it took was 2 batters. A double for Dexter and then a double for Hapworth as well. That played to the first run of the ball game. Amherst came back with 2 of its own in the top half of this inning, and that's how we got here. Huskies with 4 hits, Mammoths with 3. The 1-2, missed outside. Dexter lays off. Two-two pitch with 2 down. Again missed outside. Amherst dugout not so sure about that call from Greg Hewitt. And the count runs full. Again, time called by Jake Dexter. Enjoying the weather here in central New York so much. Wants to maximize his time maybe. Here comes the payoff pitch. Missed outside, ball 4. First walk of the night for Sam Schneider to go with 1 strikeout. That came in the last inning. So Dexter aboard for the second time in as many trips to the plate. And that brings up Dylan Hapworth. Hapworth drove in the only run of the night so far for Southern Maine. As the sun begins to set here at Falcon Park. First pitch finds the inner edge, 0-1. Dexter slides back in safely. Even on the pickoff, Schneider's motion is even more so sidearm than when he comes to the plate. We'll see if he does it again here. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Hapworth on the season. Numbers aren't quite as impressive as Warren and Dexter, who are both above 380 on the season, but Hapworth, 344 is pretty good too. 8 home runs as well. That's tops on the team. Swing, he gets a piece, right back to the catcher. Severino Simeone hangs on, and it's still a 2-1 lead for Amherst through 3 innings.
Leading off the top of the fourth, the left fielder, number 24, Joseph Palm.
Five, 6, and 7 due up for Amherst here in the top of the 4th inning. Against the same pitcher, Dalton Rice, and right off the bat, hard contact for Joseph Palmo, right to Jason Komalainen.
Now batting, the first baseman, number 8, Sam Elmore.
Komalainen with a nice snag, heads up play over at first base. Sam Ellenwood in next for Amherst. First pitch right down Main Street, 0-1. Dalton Rice working quickly, drops in a breaking ball, 0-2. Sam Ellenwood on the season, a .358 hitter. Slugged .432. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Check swing, appealed on the first base line. They say he did not go around. Mike Lum makes the call there. And the count pushes to 1-2. Ellenwood struck out back in the 2nd inning. This is his 2nd plate appearance. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Did the catcher hang on? Yes, he did. Kyle Heath with a nice play behind the plate for strikeout number 3.
Number 15, William Murphy.
Dalton Rice cruising along, 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the 4th. Caught the lower outside edge with that fastball. First pitch to William Murphy. Murphy the DH, lined out to the center fielder Warren back in the 2nd. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball dips low, 1-1. Palmo, Ellenwood, and Murphy went down 1, 2, 3 in the 2nd. Now Palmo and Ellenwood have gone down in order here in the 4th. And right on cue, a base hit. So Murphy, another line drive to center field. This one dips down in front of Warren. He's got himself a 2-out single. Up next, the man who scored the first run of the evening for Amherst, Kai Terada Herzer. Center fielder opened up the last inning, the 3rd inning, with a single, came around to score, thanks in part to a wild pitch. Murphy at first base. First pitch, a fastball, catches the lower corner. Terada Herzer, very patient at the plate. 18 walks this season, compared to just 78 at-bats. The 0-1 missed low and away. 1-1. On-base percentage of .423 this year. Pickoff attempt, and Murphy is back safely. Murphy 11 of 12 on stolen base attempts during the season. The 1-1 pitch from Rice. There goes Murphy. Play at second base. Throw bounced in. It went off Murphy and rolls into shallow left field. And Murphy is safe with a head-first slide. Second stolen base of the night already for Amherst. Steinhorn did it in the third inning. He was stranded at third base, though. This time Murphy does it with 2 outs. So give him 12 stolen bases on the season. He's only been caught 1 time. Time called before the 2-1 to Troiano Herzer. Two-1 fought off foul. So 2's across the scoreboard. Balls, strikes, and outs. Herzer on a mini 2-game hit streak here, with hits in both games against Tufts in the NESCAC tournament. Amherst did not lose a game in that conference tourney. 3-2 over Bates, 9-2 over Tufts, and then 3-2 over Tufts again. The 2-2 pitch to Troiano Herzer. A lot of heat on that one, but a little bit too low in the dirt, so it's 3-2. The payoff pitch. Swing and a soft roller off the mound, fielded by Olzak over to first base in time for the final out of the frame. Amherst again with 1 single in an inning and a stolen base, but nothing doing aside from that. 2-1, Mammoth still on top with the Huskies back to the plate after this.
Leading off the bottom of the 4th, the shortstop, number 6, Andrew Olzak.
Gorgeous night for baseball at Falcon Park in Auburn, New York. The perfect place for day 1 of the Division III New York Regionals here in the college baseball tournament. Southern Maine back to the plate here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Huskies the 3 seed against the 6 seed Mammoths from Amherst. Want to know the count to Andrew Olzak against Sam Schneider. Starting pitcher back to the bump for Amherst. Here comes the 2-0 from Schneider. Popped out to right field, tailing foul, giving chase. Quintal, the sliding catch. He made it.
Now batting, the right fielder, number 6.
Here comes the 2-0 from Schneider. Popped out to right field, tailing foul, giving chase. Quintal, the sliding catch. He made it. Count 2-1 to Zach Quintal. 1 for 1 on the day so far with a double back in the second. That led off the inning. made his way to third base before being stranded there. The 2-1 from Schneider. High pop up to shallow left field. 3 Mammoths converging, and it's the shortstop Roberson who makes the catch.
Now batting, the catcher, number 8, Kyle Heath.
That brings up Kyle Heath, who is the last Husky to get a hit against Sam Schneider. First pitch, a fastball outside. Schneider gave up 4 hits in those first 2 innings, 2 in the first and then 2 in the second. But this second trip through the lineup has been much better for him. Schneider working quickly here against Kyle Heath, who singled back in the second inning. That one started promisingly for Southern Maine, but a 6-4-3 double play ended it, with runners on the corners and 1 down. More hard contact on the ground, down the left field line, but foul. Ever since then, Schneider has been lights out. Did walk a batter in the 3rd inning. Aside from that, it's been 5 up, 5 down. Here's the 1-2 to Kyle Heath. He golfs it out to left center field. Palmo going back. The left fielder makes the play. Three up, 3 down in the bottom of the 4th for Southern Maine, and Sam Schneider has found a rhythm on the hill for Amherst. Still a 2-1 Mammoths lead through 4 full.
Very efficient, work inning. How about a? Yeah, right. We'll take it. How about a week? Pitchers duels are fun. It's the new thing nowadays. All the kids are dueling. Sir Tankian. System of a Down. Like 80s ballad rock and trashy rap music. I don't know. What was Joe Kelly's walk-up song? Oh yeah, the remix.
Leading off, the catcher, number 10, Severino Simeone.
Top of the 5th inning here at Falcon Park in Auburn, New York. Amherst the 6 seed, Southern Maine the 3 seed in this New York Regional. And at the top of the 5th, it's Severino Simeone, who fouls off the first pitch he sees from Dalton Rice. One pitch here, line drive out to left center field, giving chase the left fielder. Did he catch that? Yes, he did. Sam Troiano with a beautiful shoestring play in left field. These outfielders going back and forth, one-upping each other. In the bottom half of the 4th, it was Ariel Kenny with a fantastic sliding grab in foul territory out in right field. This time it's Sam Troiano, the freshman, who just picks it right off the grass.
Ball.
1-0. Line drive, and speaking of great fielding, Andrew Hillier right there with the backhand stab. Sometimes they call it a pitcher's duel, but how about a fielder's duel?
The shortstop, number 4, Harry Roberson.
Harry Roberson shows bunts. He'll come back to the plate after that foul ball, 0-1. Roberson 1 for 2 so far tonight with a single and a stolen base back in the first. And then a strikeout in the third. The 0-1 looping curve barely missed up high, 1-1. In that last start against UMass Boston, again a powerhouse. 5 1/3 innings for Rice. 6 runs, all of them earned. The 2-1. Missed up and in, 3-1. Rice, the 3-1 pitch to Roberson. I couldn't tell you.
Number 30, Ariel Kenny.
Roberson walks. First base on ball issued by Rice so far tonight. That brings up Ariel Kenny, the right fielder tonight, for Amherst. Kenny's already had himself a pretty eventful evening. Sacrifice fly back in the third inning to give Amherst this 2-1 lead. Now a pop-up out to left field, tailing foul. Will it stay in play for Hillier, the third baseman? No, just off the heel of his glove. That would have been another pretty impressive play. Did they call catcher's interference again? Both times Ariel Kenny has come to the plate in the third and fifth inning. Catcher's interference was called. In the third, Amherst denied it because the ball was put in play and it was a sacrifice fly out to right field. Now on the catcher's interference on that foul ball, Kenny takes his base and Roberson moves over to second. So mark that in E2. Hard ground ball up the middle by Nick Nardone. Flip to second base, smooth fashion from Andrew Olzak, and that ends the frame. So Amherst strands a couple. After that catcher's interference allowed Kenny to get aboard, he's the force out at second base. And it's still a 2-1 Mammoths lead as we are halfway home in this game 3.
Jimmy, keep it rolling, big guy.
Dude, what was that ball for? That was right on the head. Yeah.
Right there.
I had no idea what
That
that
was right down the pipe.
Yeah.
You will. Like you know the guy. Like you know the guy. I'll get you.
Leading off, the first baseman, number 9, Jason Komalainen.
In first for Southern Maine, bottom 5, Jason Komalainen, the 8-hole hitter, and the first baseman for the Huskies, down 2-1. First pitch from Sam Schneider, right on the outside corner, strike 1. Schneider in his 5th inning of work here in this start induces a swing and a miss from Komalainen, who's 0 for 1. The only strikeout victim of Schneider so far tonight. He went down looking back in the second. The 0-2. Gets a piece of this one, nubs it down the third base line, but foul. Nonetheless, a nice backhand stab by Nick Nardone in foul territory. Count remains 0-2. The 0-2 to Komalainen. Stinger of a ground ball towards short. Scoots under the glove of Harry Roberson. And that is a base knock for Komalainen. They rule that a hit. Don't think it touched the glove of the shortstop Roberson. So a leadoff single for Komalainen. Maybe a little rally starter for Southern Maine here in the bottom of the 5th, down 2-1. Schneider takes a moment to tie his shoe. He's a guy who's been a staple on the mound for Amherst in all 4 of his collegiate seasons. Now in his senior year, looking to finish with a bang, making the NCAA tournament. Komalainen takes his lead off of first. Fastball drifts outside to Sam Troiano, the left fielder and the freshman of the year in the NESCAC. Schneider ready with the 1-0 pitch. Troiano has that open stance. Fastball dives in, 1-1. Schneider has made at least 8 appearances in all 4 of his seasons. 13 as a freshman, including 4 starts. He went 4-1 with an ERA of 3.22. After that, as a sophomore, 8 appearances and no starts. He struggled a little bit with an ERA of 9.39. But ever since, ERA has been below 3 in his junior and senior season. Swing and a miss there by Troiano, 1-2. Troiano takes 2-2. And Schneider has really found a rhythm here toward the end of his senior season. Each of his last 5 starts, he's gone at least 6 innings. Progressively pitched more throughout. The 2-2 pitch to Troiano. Gets a piece, fouls it straight back, 2-2 still. Against Williams College, a 16-4 win for Amherst back on April 8th. Went 6 strong innings, allowing just 3 runs, only 1 earned. Then April 21st against Wesleyan, 6 1/3 innings, gave up a couple of runs, both earned. Then against Trinity, a powerhouse, went 7 innings. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the catcher Simeone hangs on, so Troiano goes down swinging.
Number 2, Devon Warren.
Second strikeout of the night for Schneider. And then in his last 2 starts, against Middlebury and Bates, 8 2/3 innings, 7 2/3 innings. So Schneider has really become a workhorse down the stretch. Devon Warren in next for Southern Maine, the leadoff hitter. Courtesy pickoff attempt to Komalainen over at first base. Komalainen has only tried to steal once this season. He was successful. First pitch to Warren. Big swing and a miss. Warren batted above 400 in the regular season, but he's 0 for 2 so far tonight. He's got a runner at first base with 1 down. Takes strike 2 on the inner half. So Schneider, after, again, sputtering a bit in that first inning, he's been rock solid ever since. No runs across in the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, and now 1 down in the 5th. Time called by Devon Warren. And it really seemed like that 6-4-3 double play to end the 2nd inning gave him a little boost of energy. After that, he's only allowed 1 hit and 1 walk. The 0-2. Hard contact out to center field. Tarada Herzer sprinting back, and he makes the play.
Now batting, the 3rd baseman, number 12, Andrew Hilliard.
400 feet to straightaway center here at Falcon Park. 330 down the lines. Just a beautiful venue for baseball. You know, the Double Days are ready for their season to start in less than a month. June 15th, hosting the Batavia Muck Dogs. Andrew Hilliard takes ball 1 from Schneider. Hilliard 0 for 2 so far tonight. Lined out to the right fielder, Kenny. Back in the 3rd, right at him. Kenny didn't even have to move an inch. Komalainen with a healthy lead over at first base. Schneider with the 1-0 pitch. Fastball tails low, 1-1. Winner of this game will face the winner of the nightcap tonight here at Falcon Park between Salisbury and St. Joe's. The 2-0 catches the outer corner, 2-1. Salisbury, the 2 seed out of Maryland. St. Joseph's, the 7 seed out of Long Island. Swing and a line drive out to left field. Bounces in front of Palmo for Amherst. Gets away from him into the gap. At third base is the runner Komalainen. Stumbles as he tries to get back to the bag, but that is a 2-out double for Andrew Hillier.
Now batting, the second baseman, number 13, Jake Dexter.
So runners at second and third for Southern Maine. And the Conference Player of the Year at the dish with Jake Dexter. That's a single for Andrew Hillier, and both runners move up on the air on the left fielder Palmo. First pitch to Dexter. Takes it on the lower corner, 0-1. Dexter has reached safely in both of his trips to the plate so far tonight. That's nothing new for him. He had .387 in the regular season with a .425 on base percentage. Little East Conference Player of the Year. 0-1 the count against Sam Schneider. Dexter waits and pokes it out to shallow right field. Kenny underneath it, and he makes the catch. 2 runners stranded in scoring position for Southern Maine. They still trail 2-1 after 5 full innings here at Falcon Park. Come back for the top of the 6th. That's Palmo, Ellenwood, and Murphy due up for the Mammoths.
Keep it rolling, big boy. Starting to get a little angry. Well, you're keeping the boys rolling, that's for sure. Pitches are locked in. Already in the 6th. Knowing that the last 3 innings we did it won.
Leading off the inning, left fielder, number 24, Joseph Palm.
Joseph Palmo leads things off for Amherst here in the top of the 6th. All over the first pitch he sees off the end of the bat, 0-1. Palmo, the lone lefty in either starting lineup tonight. Swings and misses through strike number 2. All 9 starters for Southern Maine bat from the right side, and 8 of 9 for Amherst. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Dalton Rice on the outside corner, strike 3.
Now batting, the first baseman.
Punch out number 4 for Dalton Rice, the first one looking. Does it in 3 pitches against Joseph Palmo. Ellenwood swings at the first pitch, right back to Dalton Rice. And the easy flip over to first base and Komalainen for out number 2. So Rice now with 4 strikeouts, 2 of them against Ellenwood. That time, I guess a net positive for Sam Ellenwood. Makes contact, puts it in play. Still goes down on the first pitch, though. That brings up William Murphy, 1 for 2 so far tonight with a single back in the 4th. Takes ball 1 inside. Lights are on at Falcon Park. We're across the 7 o'clock mark here in the Eastern Time Zone. Second pitch finds the outer edge, 1-1. Still gorgeous conditions for baseball. When you think about the perfect sites, weather-wise, Central New York might not be the first thing that comes to your mind, but this has been pretty much picture perfect. 1-1 swing and a miss. Murphy tied up 1-2. I'd say the only place more beautiful in the summer, maybe Minnesota. Here's the 1-2. Missed low and outside with a curveball. Count levels 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 down here in the top of the 6th. Murphy swings, hard ground ball right to the glove of Hillier. The throw to first base in time, and it's a 1-2-3, top of the 6th for Dalton Rice. Cruising along here in Game 3, Amherst and Southern Maine, the 3 and the 6. 3-seed Huskies back to the dish now for 4, 5, and 6 in the bottom half of the frame.
Yeah, I do.
Sammy, get back out.
Leading off the bottom of the 6th, the designated hitter, number 3, Dylan Hapworth.
Southern Maine scored the first run of the game back in the first. They've been held silent ever since. As we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, Dylan Hapworth leads things off against Sam Schneider, the pitcher for Amherst. Swings and makes contact just barely with the first pitch he sees. That was pitch number 80 for Sam Schneider tonight in his 6th inning of work, getting the nod in Amherst's first postseason game here in the D3 College Baseball Tournament. I should say this is pitch number 75 for Schneider, and it's another swing and a miss. So 51 strikes out of 75 pitches for Sam Schneider. Better than 2/3 of his offerings have either found the strike zone or found contact. Working quickly, the 0-2 to Hapworth. That fastball missed outside. Hapworth, the man responsible for that only run for the Huskies so far tonight. The RBI double back in the first drove in Jake Dexter. Hapworth, a .344 hitter this season. 1-2 count now against Sam Schneider. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Now batting, the shortstop, number 6, Andrew Olzak.
Fourth strikeout of the evening for Sam Schneider. Second time it's been Hapworth. That brings up Andrew Olzak. Olzak 0 for 2 so far tonight. Ground out to the first baseman back in the first inning. Here's a chopper towards second base. Steinhorn can't make the play, and he can't pick it up either. That'll be an error on the second baseman, Max Steinhorn, allowing Olzak to reach safely.
Right fielder, number 7, Zach Quintal.
Southern Maine has now put base runners on in 5 of 6 innings. They've got 6 hits compared to just 4 for Amherst, but it's a 2-1 Mammoths lead right now. Zach Quintal in next for USM. 1 for 2 on the day so far. He takes ball 1 from Sam Schneider. Reaches out for the ground ball toward the shortstop. Roberson makes the nice throw on the run as his body weight was pulling him away from the bag to get the lead runner there.
Now batting, the catcher, number 8, Heath.
So Olzak retired at second base. Quintal reaches via the 6'4" fielder's choice. Now 2 down in this bottom of the 6th. Kyle Heath in next for Southern Maine. First pitch to him on the inside corner. Good movement on that pitch from Schneider. Heath a single back in the 2nd and then a line out in the 4th. Been to the plate in every even inning so far as Schneider makes quick work of these Huskies. Runner at first is going to be caught in the pickle on the pickoff attempt, but the throw to the shortstop gets away from Roberson as Quintal slides in safely. Zero hesitation from Zach Quintal, who saw the pickoff and still ran. That's going to be a stolen base for Quintal. Showing off the wheels. For Quintal, that's the 9th stolen base of the season on the 12th try. Count still 0-1 to Kyle Heath because no pitch there. It was a pickoff attempt and Quintal still went. Runner in scoring position. Quintal, who made it to third base in the 2nd after his leadoff double, but was stranded there. Counts 0-1. Schneider working against Heath. Gives a look at second base. Now he comes home. That one off the end of the bat and tailing down in shallow right field. Bounces barely foul. And then it kicks into the bullpen for Amherst. Down the right field line, that's where the visitors go. Does not appear to be any action in the pen for the Mammoths just yet. Over in the USM pen. A couple of guys warming up, but doesn't look like it's anything serious just yet. 0-2 is the count to Kyle Heath. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Sam Schneider starts the inning with a swinging strikeout, and he ends the inning with a swinging strikeout. He's up to 5 on the night, and he's in cruise control. Amherst holding on to a 2-1 lead over Southern Maine.
Thank you.
Leading off, the center fielder, number 16, Troiano.
The 6-seed Amherst on top of the 3-seed Southern Maine through 6 innings. We go to the top of the 7th. It's Kai Terada Herzer leading things off for the Mammoths. Against the same pitcher, Dalton Rice. 0-1 pitch. Missed up high for ball 1. Rice above 80 pitches already. Working deep into this one in the 7th inning. One-two pitch to Terada Herzer. Swung on and missed. Drop strike 3. Play at first base in time for the first out.
Now then, the catcher, number 10.
5th strikeout of the evening for Dalton Rice, going toe-to-toe with Sam Schneider. Pitcher on the Amherst side who's got 5 Ks of his own. That brings up one of the 2 run scores for Amherst so far tonight, Severino Simeone. Catcher swings at the first pitch, golfs it out to deep right field. Quintal giving chase near the warning track, and he makes the stab. Bo Jackson style gives a step on the wall after making that beautiful running catch.
Now batting, the second baseman, number 1.
Quintal had a hit for Simeone. Catcher swings at the first pitch, golfs it out to deep right field. Quintal giving chase near the warning track, and he makes the stab. Bo Jackson style gives a step on. So 2 down here in the top of the 7th. Back to the top of the Amherst lineup for Max Steinhorn. 372 hitter on the season, tops on the team. First pitch, shows bunt, pulls it back. Don't know why, it was right down the middle. Steinhorn so far today, 1 of 3. A single back in the 3rd inning. Here comes your 0-1 pitch from Rice. Missed up and in. Steinhorn turns away from it. Just past the 7:30 mark here in Auburn. The 0-1 pitch comes to Steinhorn. Drops in there for strike 2. 1-2 count. Steinhorn swings and just barely gets a piece. So the count remains the same. Steinhorn started all 36 games for the Mammoths this season. The only 2 guys to do that, the top 2 guys in the lineup, Steinhorn and Roberson. Steinhorn led the way with 148 at-bats, a slugging percentage of .432. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Gets past the catcher. Heath can't find it. He's got no idea where it is. It was right underneath his feet the entire time, and Steinhorn reaches safely. So this inning began with a drop strike 3, but that was an easy play for Kyle Heath to make on the Terada Herzer strikeout. This time Steinhorn reaches safely. It's the 6th strikeout of the evening for Dalton Rice. First time he's recorded multiple strikeouts in the same inning. Steinhorn at first base. A check of him with a pickoff. He's already stolen 1 bag tonight. Back in the 3rd, he singled and then stole 2nd. His single was an RBI single, too. Scampers back to the bag. Steinhorn drove in a run back in the 3rd that tied this game at 1. And later on in that inning, Ariel Kenny came up and drove home the 2nd run with a sac fly. First pitch of the at-bat to Roberson, still pending. Another pickoff attempt and another safe slide by Steinhorn. 15 stolen bags on the season now if you include the one from tonight on 20 attempts. Cool 75% conversion rate. Rice takes a look. After 3 straight pickoff attempts, he finally comes home. Roberson takes strike 1. Roberson 3 trips to the dish so far. Back in the 1st inning, a single, and then he stole 2nd. He was stranded there. Strikeout in the 3rd, and then a walk in the 5th. Another pickoff attempt. Scoots away from Komalainen over at first. But he retrieves it. Didn't get too far away. So Steinhorn stays put at first base. So far in this at-bat, we've had 4 pickoff attempts and 1 actual pitch. Hard contact out to left field. Falling foul. Roberson nearly had himself extra bases and maybe a run batted in. But it landed a few feet left of the left field line. Roberson's batting average .303 during the season. Drove in 27 runs, most on the team. Here's the 0-2 from Rice. There goes Steinhorn from first. And Roberson stays alive with a foul ball. There is some action in the Southern Maine bullpen. Joshua Joy, the freshman right-hander, warming up. Rice approaching 100 pitches, right now at 92. 56 of them have been strikes. Steinhorn goes again on the 0-2. He got a great jump. Here comes the throw from Heath. Not even close. Steinhorn with his second stolen base. Oh, strike 3. I was so focused on what was happening on the base paths, missed what happened at the dish. Roberson strikes out, and that's the end of the top of the 7th. So we go to the 7th inning stretch with Amherst still on top. 2 runs to 1.
Get up and stretch. It's the 7th inning stretch, all.
Y'all. I didn't realize we were in the North Carolina regional. Love it, Jimmy. Love it. Ever since you've been at the helm, this has been flying, brother. James, am I giving you a ride home? I can't imagine Big T's gonna be up that late. You better be. Music.
Now batting, the first baseman, number 9, Jason Comline.
Bottom of the 7th inning at Falcon Park. 3-seed Southern Maine trailing the 6-seed Amherst 2-1. As we've got 3 innings left. And the Huskies, 9 outs remaining. They have not been able to plate a run in the last 6 frames. Sam Schneider has found a rhythm on the bump. The starting pitcher for Amherst still on the hill. Works ahead 0-2 against Jason Komalainen. Komalainen leading off an inning for the 2nd time in the last 3 frames. Back in the 5th, he reached via the single. Made his way all the way to 3rd, but he was stranded there. Oh, 0-2 pitch, just off the outside corner. Amherst fans getting into it a little bit. They thought that pitch was true. Instead, the count pushes to 1-2. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. No doubt about that one.
Now hitting, the left fielder,
Sam Schneider with 3 strikeouts on the last 6 batters he's faced. Up to 6 in total on the evening, with 2 of them against Komalainen. Both pitchers finding a little strikeout rhythm here. And next is Sam Troiano, the freshman of the year. Troiano 0 for 2 so far tonight. Swings through the 1-0 pitch, 1-1. 6-4-3 double play that ended the 2nd inning for Troiano. Might have given Sam Schneider the little momentum he needed to pitch this well through the last 5 or so innings. And a strikeout back in the 5th as well. Foul ball back into the right side, and the count is 1-2. And the decision that looms large in this one, with Amherst still on top 2-1. Remember that sacrifice fly back in the 3rd. That's what made it a 2-1 game. Here's your 1-2. Soft ground ball to Olzak at short. He makes the play. Check that. Roberson at short. Excuse me. And a nice pick at first base by Sam Ellenwood.
The center fielder, number 2, Devon Warren.
So now 2 down in the bottom of the 7th. But in that sacrifice fly back in the 3rd that gave Amherst the lead, there was catcher's interference on the play. Ariel Kenny, the man who drove it in, his bat made contact with the catcher, Kyle Heath. Devon Warren upset with himself, swings at the first pitch, bloops it toward the right side of the infield, and that's a 1-2-3 frame in the bottom of the 7th. Sam Schneider in control for Amherst on the mound. 2 innings left. It's still 2-1 Mammoths over the Huskies.
Still going, baby. I'll try to get us out of here. Alright, so basically no one's winning.
Yeah, that's 24 now.
Leading off the top of the eighth, the right fielder, number 30, Ariel Kenny.
7 innings in the books. It's still a 2-1 Amherst lead. The Mammoths trying to pull off the upset as the 6th seed against the 3 seed Huskies of Southern Maine. Same starting pitcher to the bump for USM, Dalton Rice, coming up on 100 pitches in his start in this first game of the NCAA tournament for USM. The 1-0 pitch, swung on, ground ball up the gut. Diving attempt made by Olzak, but it gets right by him. Leadoff single for Ariel Kenny. He's been a busy man tonight. That sacrifice fly back in the 3rd inning, in which Amherst declined catcher's interference. That gave them a 2-1 lead. That's still the score right now. Kenny also reached via the error and made a gorgeous sliding catch in foul territory out in right field. He takes his lead off of first base. That brings up Nick Nardone. Nardone lays down the bunt. It goes straight back for strike 1. So this next pitch for Dalton Rice will be 100. His deepest outing of the season, 8 innings, allowed just a couple of runs. Back on April 13th against Western Connecticut State. The 0-1 pitch, solid bunt laid down the 3rd baseline by Nick Nardone. Play at first in time, and the sac bunt works to a T. Kenny moves to second base. Nardone retired.
Now batting, the left fielder, number 24, Joseph Palmer.
That brings up Joseph Palmo. Stands in, swings at the first pitch.